Hello, good morning everyone. Last lecture we have seen about the fast and slow GPIO register, but due to the time, okay, we have not able to complete that point. Okay, so I just explain you slow GPIO registers. Now in slow GPIO registers you learn IO pin register, then IO set register, IO clear register and IO dir register. These registers are comes under slow GPIO registers. Now we are going for the fast GPIO register. The fast GPIO registers are divided into 5 different categories. Okay, these are 5 registers. So here I am giving you one by one. Okay, so first fast GPIO register is named as FIO XDIR. Okay, so here if you see the fast GPIO register, only the change is here. Only F is prefix before that IO dir or IO pin or IO set or IO clear, right? Okay. Only this will be seen, you can see. Okay, now I am telling you one by one. Okay, so FIO XDIR is a new register which is available in the latest ARM7, that is LPC 2148. It is named as fast GPIO port directions control register. This is a 32-bit wide register. This register is individually control the direction of each port pin. You can set a bit to a 1, configures the corresponding pin as the output pin, and if you want to set it as an input pin, then you can set this bit as 0, so the line will be configured as input pin. Okay, just आप यहाँ पर इसका यूज कर सकते हो डायरेक्शंस कंट्रोल में. So that's why आपको इनपुट आउटपुट डायरेक्शन सेट आउट करने के लिए यहाँ पर इस पर्टिकुलर रजिस्टर्स का यूज किया जाता है. So that's why either you can define a single bit, either you can define entire 32 bit. It will be depends on your programming. Okay, so that's why here you can use either 1 bit or either 0 bit. 1 bit is referred for output pins and 0 bit is referred for input pin, right? Now second one register is here FIOX mask. Okay, actually here the such type of register is not present in your GPIO register. Okay, this is a newer register, so that's why this is a newer set of register, so that's why here one extra register is joined with this our register set, so that's why here it is called as an fast mask register for ports. Okay, now most of the cases we will need the masking of the bits, so that's why here the purpose of this bits, purpose of this register is to do the masking. Okay, so that's why as it is named fast mask register for port. Okay, we will see here what the description is given. Okay, it is a 32-bit register. This register control the effect of fast register over FIOX pin, FIOX set or FIOX clear on port pins. Yes, just you can use a 0 bit to configure the corresponding pin access to the fast register. That is, we can read or write the corresponding pin in fast mode using the fast register. Okay, also you can use logic 1 bit, you can configure the corresponding pin unaffected by the fast register. Okay, so that's why whether you want to utilize the operation strategies of the pin set or clear register, so that's why if you want to utilize this as a fast register, so you can keep these bits are 1. Okay, if these bits are 1, okay, means you can configure the corresponding pin are unaffected by the fast register, and if it is 0 then you can say we are going to configure. Okay, मैंने थोड़ा उल्टा बोला शायद. Okay, so that's why if you put 0, so 0 अगर आप रखोगे तो you can configure the corresponding pin access to the fast register. Okay, that is we can write or read the corresponding pin in fast mode using fast register. तो आपको फास्ट मोड यहाँ पर इंट्रोड्यूस करना होगा. तो यहाँ फास्ट मोड इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए आपको यहाँ पर इस पर्टिकुलर रजिस्टर में 0 बिट पुट आउट करके इसको एनेबल करना पड़ेगा. अदरवाइज इफ इट इज 1 यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू यूटिलाइज इट एज अ फास्ट रजिस्टर. ओके, इस तरह का आप यहाँ पर मास्किंग कैरी आउट कर सकते हो. तो यह पर्टिकुलरली मास्किंग के लिए रिलेटेड रहेगा. ओके, मींस आपको यहाँ पर यूटिलाइजेशन कैसे करना है या नॉन यूटिलाइज करना है फास्ट मोड, तो दैट यू कैन यूज दिस रजिस्टर. देन नेक्स्ट वन रजिस्टर इज FIOX pin. Okay, FIOX pin is named as fast port pin value register for FIO mask. Okay, so here this is 32-bit wide register. This register is used to read or write the value on the port pins only if that corresponding port pin have access to fast register. ओके, अगर आपने यहाँ पर फास्ट मास्क रजिस्टर अगर यूज किया होगा तो आपको यह बेनिफिटेड रहेगा, अदरवाइज नॉट. यानी कैसा कि दिस रजिस्टर इज यूज्ड टू डू द रीडिंग और राइटिंग द वैल्यू ऑन पोर्ट पिन्स only if that corresponding port pin have access of fast register. Okay, means FIOX mask will be 0. Okay, then that FIOX pin will be utilized for your fast mode. Okay, here access to port pins using fast register is enabled using zeros, right? That I said, right? I said this point. Okay, so that's why in FIOX mask register अगर यहाँ पर रहेगा तो ही यहाँ पर आप इसका यहाँ पर फास्ट मोड में यूटिलाइजेशन कर सकते हो, राइट? तो इसी का ही नहीं, आपको मैंने ऑलरेडी लिस्ट कर दिया है FIOX पिन, FIOX सेट और FIOX क्लियर. मींस मुझे यहाँ पर सेट और क्लियर यूटिलाइजेशन करना है, मींस सेटिंग ऑफ द बिट्स और क्लियरिंग ऑफ द बिट्स करना है फ्रॉम द पोर्ट लाइन. देन आल्सो here I need to define these fast mask register. Okay, so that's why here see I am telling you the fourth point that FIOX set, we say it is a fast port output set register using FIO mask. Okay, यानी आपको यहाँ पर उसको बिफोर पहले डिफाइन करना ही पड़ेगा. दिस इज a 32-bit wide register. This register is used to make पिन ऑफ पोर्ट हाई, यानी आपको यहाँ पर लॉजिक 1 बिट पुट आउट करने के लिए यहाँ पर ये अलाउ करेगा. सो दैट्स व्हाई वी कैन एबल टू सेट ऑल द पिन्स और अ सिंगल पिन, और एज यू रिक्वायर दैट नंबर ऑफ पिन्स you can able to set. Writing 1 to specific bit makes that pin high. Okay, writing 0 has no effect. Okay, reading this register returns the current content of the port's output registers. Only bits enabled by zeros in mask FIO mask can be altered, right? Similarly, for clearing of the bits, okay, FIOX clear register is necessary. So again, it is used in conjunction with the FIO mask. So that's why its name is fast port output clear register using FIO mask, right? Again, this is a 32-bit wide register. This register is used to mask pin of port low. Writing 1 to specific bit makes that pin low. Writing zeros has no effect. Only bits enabled by zeros in FIO mask can be altered, right? So remember it, all these are registers are comes under the fast GPIO registers. So these are not much different than your GPIO register, but if you want a general purpose operation or a fast purpose operation, so fast purpose operations point of view, you may use this FIO, or if you need a general purpose operation, then you can use a IO only. Okay, IO pin, IO set, IO dir or IO clear name register, right? So this is the biggest way or biggest difference between your fast GPIO as well as slow GPIO, right? Now I'm ending with this second unit. Okay, so second unit will have these points. Okay, so now I'm going to continue with your third one unit. Okay, so that's why that third one unit that I'm going to start. Okay, so here I just change the slides. Okay, now I'm just starting the unit number 3. Unit number 3 is named as real world interfacing with ARM7 based microcontroller. Now here we are going to learn about the real world interfacing. Means actually this unit is totally dedicated or based over the two things. First one is different types of basic interfacing devices like LED, LCD, keyboard, graphics LCD, stepper motor, DC motor, or you can go for the timers, counters, interrupts, okay, serial communications. Okay, I am going to tell you the programming as well as how you can configure ARM7 for these operations, right? As well as I will give you a study of on-chip peripheral devices like ADC, DAC, watchdog timers, USB, and pulse width modulators. Okay, all these things I am going to tell under the unit number 3. Again, this is a huge unit. Okay, it required again near about 9 to 10 lectures to complete this. Okay, but when I am going slow by slow. Okay, I am telling you each and everything about that, all the things. Okay, I hope all these points are comes under your practicals also. So side by side I am telling you here how you can write, how you can run the programs. Okay, so that things is also explained with that. Okay, so our practical will get covered as well as our theoretical point will also get covered with these points, right? So here now to continue with this real world interfacing with ARM7, so I am going to start what is an embedded systems. Okay, so that's why what is an embedded C programming. Okay, now you already heard about the assembly level language programming. Okay, generally in terms of assembly level language programming we are going to utilize a assembler. Okay, and some assembler directives are necessary, but now here we are going to utilize a C programming. So that's why here it is a separate, it is somehow different than the C programming. Okay, I am giving you that difference between the C and embedded C programming. First of all, I hope everyone is now at this fourth level of your UG. You are knowing what is C programming. So that's why I am not going to tell you that what is C programming. I am just directly going over that what is an embedded C programming. Okay, so just I am giving you some things related to this, then I come over that difference between that C and C embedded C programming, right? So see, first we understand this, in every embedded system based project, embedded C programmings play a key role to make the controller run and perform the preferred action. Okay, now here whenever you are going to write any kind of project, okay, that will be based over the embedded C programming. So that's why that embedded C program is a heart of that microcontroller. So that's why that microcontroller will run and perform the preferred action over that. Okay, so that's why that microcontroller will able to run your embedded C program. Generally embedded C program is a combinations of the two things. One is that your C program and second one is that your high level, okay, sorry, your assembly level language instructions, right? So that same combinations we are going to handle under that embedded C programming. Okay, but basic concepts point of view here, you must know that embedded C program plays an important role to make the microcontroller run and perform the preferred action, right? At present we normally utilize several electronic devices like mobile phones, okay, mobile phones, washing machines, security system, refrigerators, digital camera, etc. Okay, now you can able to see that embedded C programming is available everywhere in your different kind of applications. Okay, so everywhere you can able to see huge use is going on. Okay, most of the most of the manufacturer or programmer, they are continuously using this type of embedded C programming, because it will be universally adopted. Okay, it is universally adopted by the most of the programmer as well as developer, and everyone, which whatever the engineer coming out from the electronics background as well as computer backgrounds as well as IT backgrounds. Okay, they are aware with that C programming, so that's why they are, if they are going to switch over that embedded C programming, then they will not find much difficulty to handle this kind of program. Only you should know the RTOS functionality, okay, as well as the embedded library. Okay, if you are aware with that, you can easily go for that embedded C programming, not much difficult. The controlling of these embedded devices can be done with the help of an embedded C program. Example, a digital camera. If we press a camera button to capture a photo, then microcontroller will execute the required function to click the image as well as to store it, right? So here one example is given that that you can do it with the help of microcontroller also. So here when you are going to handle a hardware like a microcontroller and a switch and a camera, okay, the camera is just attached with your microcontroller, so that's why when you just press switch, the microcontroller will sense whether the switch is pressed or not. As the action will be carried out by the human being, immediately the microcontroller will sense, yeah, human has interrupted that switch, or a human has pressed that switch. Okay, once microcontroller will recognize immediately that a microcontroller will enable the cameras to take a snap. Okay, immediately that snap will get copied into the memory. Okay, and that microcontroller will permits to store that image into the memory also. Okay, so that's why this action will be carried out of the microcontroller, so that's why microcontroller will execute a set of programs, okay, to carry out this action. Okay, so that's why here such things will get happen with this embedded C programming, right? Embedded C programming builds with a set of functions where every function is a set of statements that are utilized to execute some particular task. Both the embedded C and C language are the same and implemented through some fundamentals elements like a variable character set, keyword, data types, declarations of variables, expression statements. All these elements plays a key role while writing the embedded C programming. I hope you are aware with the C programming, so that's why you know all these things like variable, character set, keyword, data types, declarations of variable, expressions and statements. Okay, so all these things are coming under the C. The same thing will be again repeating here. So that's why whenever you are going to write the embedded C program, so that's why that will build with a set of functions. Okay, so the subroutines or routines are get written by you, and every function is a set of statements that are utilized to execute some particular task. Okay, so both the C and C embedded C are the same and implemented through the some fundamentals elements. Okay, so that fundamental element that I told you, okay, all these elements will play an key role or while writing that embedded C program, right? The embedded system designer must know about the hardware architecture to write the program. This program plays a prominent role in monitoring and controlling external devices. They also directly operates and use the internal architecture of the microcontroller such an interrupt handling, timer, serial communications, and other available functions are get handled by you, right? So these things that I want to tell you about the embedded C programming. Okay, now here I would like to tell you here how that embedded system programming is, right? So as we have discussed earlier, the design of embedded system can be done using hardware and software, right? So whenever you talk about the embedded system, actually it is a synchronism between the hardware and software. You are listening, no? So here actually for instance, in a simple embedded system, the processor is the main module that works like the heart of the system, right? So whenever you talk about the embedded system, there is two things, that hardware and software. So hardware is called as a main module. Actually it will help you to execute entire thing, so that's why it is considered as an heart of the system. Here a processor is nothing but a microprocessor or DSP or microcontroller or CPLD or FPGA. Okay, you already all these things learn. Okay, microcontroller, DSP, micro embedded processor, that I will tell you. Then CPLD and FPGA, that are coming under the VLSI processors. Okay, that you already learn in the CMOS design. Okay, all these processes are programmable, so that's it defines the working of the devices, right? An embedded system program allows the hardware to check the input and control output accordingly. Uh, Here remember, whenever you write the program, okay, that will allow you to check the hardware, whatever the hardware that are available. Okay, first of all it will check whether all hardware are linked with each other. Okay, then and only then it will help you to proceed that activity, whatever the task that you have written, whatever the procedure, whatever the subroutines that you have written. Okay, that will get executed. So the embedded program may have to control the internal architectures of the processor directly, like timers, counters, interrupts, handling, IO ports, serial communications interface, etc. Okay, so that embedded program will help you to initialize all these things. Okay, in case if you have defined in the program. Okay, in case if you have not utilized in the program, okay, then they are not monitored by the processor. But in case if it will be a part of your program, then obviously the embedded processor will continuously monitor whether they are enabled or not. Okay, so that's why here remember, so embedded system programming is very important to the processor. Okay, there are different types of programming languages are available for embedded system, like C, C++, assembly level language, Java, JavaScript, or Visual Basics will be there. Okay, those who are electronics engineers, so they should aware with this programming, because when you enter in any company, okay, when as a programmer or as a hardware engineer, you should know all this programming language. Okay, that I already highlighted in the slide. Okay, so it will be very easier for you that you can able to handle that Java, JavaScript, or Visual Basics. Okay, actually these are comes under the front end base. These programming languages are permitting you to design an integrated development environment, and because of that, whatever the mobile or personal digital assistants that you are going to handle, okay, जो आप प्ले स्टोर से डाउनलोड करते हो बहुत सारे जो सॉफ्टवेयर्स है, okay, they are interactive integrated development environment type. So that's why such type of software that you can able to download from your Play Store, and you can run over your mobiles or any embedded product, right? So that's why here it will be important to you should know. Okay, so these programming languages will plays key role while making an embedded system, but choosing the languages is very essential, right? Now here I given some steps to build an embedded C program. Okay, now I hope these steps are very similar to your C level language programming also. Either you go for C level, C++ or Java or JavaScript or Visual Basic, everything in every programming, you need all these things. Okay, so that's why I have given these steps, but I am not going to explain because already you might learn all these things, okay, in any one of the programming languages. So that's why I just given you a list of the steps to build an embedded C programming. But as I will start the programming in the next point, okay, that I will tell you all these things one by one, right? But full theoretical view is not given in my videos, okay, but I just give the summary of this all these points, right? So there are different steps that are involved in the design of an embedded C program, like comments, okay. Similarly, directives of a processor. I hope you know comments, you know very well directives of a processor. Actually you learn the microcontroller, so that's why you know which type of directives are available in the processor. Similarly, how to configure the ports, okay. Actually you know how to use that ports, but as in the last unit I told you how you can configure the ports, okay. Similarly, how you can define the global variables, right? Similarly, I have given you idea about the core functions as well as main functions. Okay, in a C program, whenever you are going to write any C program, so that's why there are main functions will be written or a core function will be written by you. Okay, then the declarations of variable will be there. Then the logic of the program, okay, that will be written with the help of for, while do or a do while loop, okay, or some iterations like if else or switch case statement that may use in your program. So that's why these are the various steps to build and C program, right? I hope it is not much necessary to tell you that what is these things, okay, just names are enough for your understandings, okay. So now I am continuing with this. Lastly, I am telling you here what is the difference between the C program and embedded C program, right? So here I have given two columns. First one is C language and second one is an embedded C program, C language, right? So here a first point that I would like to tell you here, generally this language is used to develop desktop based applications, okay. So generally whenever you heard about the C language, generally it is most commonly preferred for development of desktop based applications. Most of the drivers or most of the network card applications or most of the graphics or most of the games are get designed with the help of these. Similarly, the embedded C language is used to develop microcontroller based applications, okay. So generally the embedded C is now commonly adopted by the most of the designers and developers and manufacturers. They are going to utilize this C program, the embedded C language, for development of microcontroller based applications, okay. Nowadays most of the designers are utilizing microcontroller AVR or Arduino or Raspberry Pi, VLSI or DSP processor. They are utilizing this C language programming for their development. Second point that I would like to tell you here, C language is not an extensions to any programming language, but a general purpose of it is a general purpose programming language, right? But if you talk about the embedded C is an extension to the C programming language, right? Okay, means when you talk about the C programming language, okay, C is not an extension, but here embedded C is come from C programming language. Okay, so that's why it includes different features like addressings, IO, fixed point arithmetics, multiple memories addressings, etc. Okay, most of, in case if you are aware with the C programming language, then you can easily turn over, as I already told you, you can easily turn over that embedded C programming language, okay. Third point that I would like to tell you here, it process native development in nature. Okay, it processes native development in nature. Okay, but here in embedded C it process cross development in nature. Okay. Then fourth point that I would like to tell you here, it is independent for hardware architecture. Okay, but if you think about the embedded C, means when you write any program, then you need to think about the hardware, which type of registers are there. So here we will say it is not independent, it is dependent on hardware architecture the of the microcontroller and other devices, because here you need to write the program in consideration with all these a microcontroller in inbuilt peripherals, as well as whatever the peripheral which are interface with your microcontroller. Okay, so that's why C is an independent language. It is treated as a general purpose programming language, but here embedded C is not considered as a general purpose programming language, right? Next point is the compiler of C languages depends on the operating systems, right? Okay, but in embedded C compiler, the OS is independent, right? Means whatever the microcontroller that we are using, on that we are going to use that OS. Okay, so that's why it is independent from that operating systems. Okay, so that's why embedded C compilers are OS independent. Next point is in C language, the standard compiler are used for executing a program. Okay, in a C embedded C language, specific compilers are necessary. Okay, you need to handle a specific type of compiler that will be match. Okay, that I have given some examples in the next point. The popular compilers are used in these languages are GCC, Borland, Turbo C, Intel C++, etc. Okay, these are the popular compilers that are available over internet. Okay, but you can find the embedded C compiler that they are not available over the internet. Okay, because they are not freely available. Okay, they are available with the manufacturer or those who are designers. Okay, they are purchasing, they are going to purchase all these type of compiler. Okay, so that's why the popular compilers used in this language are Kyle, BIPOM, Electronic and Green Hell name. All these compilers are not most of the compiler are freeware, but most of the compiler are not freely available. The format of C language is a free format. Okay, but in case if you see in embedded C, its format mainly dependent on the kind of microcontroller. Okay, means if you are think about the Kyle, so that's why for 8051 the Kyle operation, Kyle functionality will be different. But if you think about the ARM7, you need that compiler, so that's why you need to inbuild with that operating system, as well as that ARM processor libraries should get included with that compiler. Then only you can use it for the ARM7 controllers, right? So that's why here I have mentioned this point. Its format is mainly dependent on the kind of microprocessor used, right? Then optimizations of this language is normal. Okay, whatever optimizations of this language is normal, but if you think about that embedded C, optimization of this language is high level. Okay, so you cannot think about it as simple. Okay, then in terms of C language, it is very easy to modify and read, but in terms of embedded C language, it is not easy to modify and read. Okay, and in C language, bug free is easy. Okay, bug fixing is easy. Okay, in C language, here whatever error is called as a bug, so that's why here bug fixing is easy. But in terms of C language, embedded C language, bug fixing of this language is complicated, right? So if you think about that, here embedded C, okay, So that's why you should be careful that you should know everything. Okay, then you can turn over this embedded C language, right? But once you turn, it is very easy, not much difficult. Okay, you should know the basic libraries of that ARM or any processor. Okay, so if you know all these libraries, then it will be very easy for you. Okay, so with these things, just I would like to end this video. Okay, in the next lecture I will turn toward the how to burn the CD-ROM. Okay, how to write the program into the ARM7 processors, right? So thank you very much for watching this video, and give your attendance in the comment box. Okay, as well as you can try to share these videos with your friends also. No problem. Thank you very much.